going. There we go. And I'm going to share this screen. Okay, so if you're just joining us and you're watching the recording, welcome, welcome. My name is Kim Ware and I am your instructor here at Bryan for COM 115. Prior to this, we spent a little bit of time just talking about what we're doing at Bryan and the best part of our morning so far. So if you're watching this and you want to share that on Yellow Dig, go ahead and give it a go and we'll look forward to hearing from you. What I'm going to do over the next 20 minutes or so is just walk through the course with you, talk about course expectations insofar as the assignments, the material we're covering, what I expect from you, and what you should expect from me as your instructor. So let's get started. The first thing I want to cover is just giving you an outlook for the course. What are we doing in the next 8 weeks? So the first half of the course, roughly weeks 1 through 4, we're going to spend building a foundation for the study of interpersonal communication. So to do that, before we can learn how to communicate with others, we kind of have to learn how we communicate. So we're going to spend some time just looking inward a little bit at who we are, identifying our self-concept, talking about our beliefs, our values, our attitudes, looking at some dominant communication styles, and then applying a theory called Schutz's theory of inclusion, control, and affection to help us get a broad view of how we might analyze interpersonal communication, but it can also be applied to small group situations. We're going to look at intercultural communication, conflict, power. And then in the second half of the course, we're going to start applying those concepts to family, friendship, and workplace relationships. So that kind of is the broad scope of what we're doing. I think that you will find that this material is going to help you professionally, but it's also going to help you in your personal life. So it's kind of a double whammy there. Do you have any questions about the outlook of the course? No. Okay, good. Okay, so the assignment expectations. The assignments are writing heavy. So you will do your Learn-Its and then everything else is written. There are no multiple choice quizzes or true, false, or anything like that. So when it comes to the writing and applying concepts, I really request that you ask questions before you submit. So if you are working on Saturday for something that's due on Sunday, or working on Sunday for something that's due on Sunday, I would much prefer that you ask your question instead of just writing stuff that you don't really understand. And ask that question, let me answer it for you, and then you turn in on Monday or Tuesday versus just trying to pull it out of your head or Googling the answer. Ask me first. And one of the reasons I like to do that is because it gives me an opportunity to teach you in an online forum. It's a lot of self-management, but if I can mitigate confusion by actually talking with you or writing with you, that's super helpful. It also saves you time and it saves me time, because if you submit something that you're just not sure about, then you spend extra time trying to figure it out. And then I spend extra time explaining why it's not quite right. And then you had to spend extra time resubmitting. We could knock out all that extra time and just cut right to the chase and talk to each other and figure it out. Speaking of Google, I know when you've Googled. Is that surprising?
Yeah.
No. So in the world of communication, there are multiple textbooks, and sometimes one textbook calls something one name and another textbook calls it another name. So we really need to be focusing on the Learn-Its in our textbook. If you Google what are the stages of conflict, you're going to find a whole lot of stuff, but you might not find the exact concepts that I need you to apply for the assignment. So a little caveat to that also is that in all the assignments, except for assignment 1 and the very last assignment, there's a study guide. So I'm going to show that to you in just a minute, but whenever you open it, there's a Word doc that's linked in that's a study guide. open the study guide, and it gives you a list of concepts to be using for every single question. So please, please lean heavily on the study guide or ask me. Speaking of assignments, I'm going to close out of this screen and share a different screen with you just to show you where that is. So I'm going to do a new share. No, I'm going to stop share. So this is what you see when you log into our course. So if I scroll down, I will find assignment 1. Some of you have already worked on assignment 1, and some of you have not, and that's fine because you can always resubmit. So assignment 1 is one that doesn't have a study guide, and this is a worksheet that you're going to fill out. This is what we're talking about with trying to figure out how we communicate before we learn how to communicate with others. So what you'll notice here is that this is a personal assignment. So what I want to highlight for you with this assignment is that I'm not terribly interested in your personal life. So if you're like, this is a little bit much for me, I don't really want to write this down, much less send it over the internet, totally fine. I need to see you understand the concepts. So just make stuff up if you're uncomfortable actually talking about yourself, or think about yourself and then send me someone else's profile. That's fine. I just need to see you understand the concepts. So when we're looking at these I am statements, this is helping you sort of get at the idea of identity. What are all the roles that you play in your life that have differences? So like for me, I am a mother. I am a teacher. I'm a runner. I really like to run. I am determined. What are these things that make up your identity? Then as you scroll through, you're going to take a little quiz, and it's going to help you determine whether or not you have a more assertive communication style or a more responsive communication style. Then you're just going to continue to reflect on these different things. And then when you get down to here, part 3, communication, social style, and others, I'm looking for you to talk about assertiveness versus responsiveness in this first bullet point. Can you see my cursor moving over it? Can you see my cursor? My arrow? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, good. And
Yes,
then good. Okay, and then the next part is about adapting your communication style. So try to think of that in terms of the places in your life where you behave differently. So how do you behave in a grocery store versus in a doctor's office? You do adapt your social style in some way. So I'm just looking to see that you are thinking through these things of adaptation, because that's going to help us really focus on one of the primary concepts, which is being other oriented. And then you're going to apply Schutz's theory. Make sure you write a lot versus too little, because I need to see that you understand inclusion, control, and affection. Okay, and if you have any questions about that as you're working on it, just let me know. I'm happy to help. And then I just want to bounce over here to another assignment so I can show you the study guide. Assignment number 2 is applying concepts of culture and listening to Abril and Associates, which is a fake company, but super fun nonetheless. And the study guide is right here. So you're going to open up that study guide and see what I mean. You can see all the concepts that you should be using or could use in your answers, along with page numbers. So again, please lean on the study guides for all the assignments. Yes? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint and keep talking. I understand that I'm sharing a lot of information, so feel free to jot down notes if you have them or ask questions.
Actually, just to clarify, I wanted to ask, so basically you were just saying we should just review those study guides before we do the assignments.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I really would, because it reduces the temptation to Google, and it gives you a preview of what you should be talking about when you get to the writing.
Okay.
Yeah, good question. So let me then talk about the writing. Some of you have had English and some of you have not had English yet in your time at Bryan. And I don't know about you, but high school was a long time ago for me. And I had to relearn a lot when I started teaching my kids. I was like, wait, what's an adverb? You know, oh yeah, I remember now. But I honestly don't remember covering grammar hardly at all. I know we were supposed to in 8th grade, but I don't remember it. So that being said, just write the best that you can. I am not grading you on your skill level with writing. Am I gonna remind you to capitalize I when you use it as a pronoun? Yes, I am, but it's a reminder. I'm not gonna dock, you know, for forgetting periods and things. I just want you to write the best that you can. Make sure that you are defining concepts, that you are using examples, and that you are following it up with an explanation of how the example showcases the concept. Most of the assignments have a suggested word count, at least 50 words, at least 100 words. And having been teaching a really long time, I have a pretty good idea of how many words it's going to take you to explain something. So if you're like, oh, I can't quite get there, message me, let me see a draft of what you've written, and I can help you find other places that maybe you need to explain just a little bit more. Okay? Yes?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. I can't see you all, and so I can't see any nonverbal feedback. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Now let's talk about Learn-Its. In this class, the Learn-It level is set higher than it is in some of your other courses. I didn't make that decision, so don't be upset with me. I'm just the messenger telling you that they're longer. So make sure you make time for that. The first week is the heaviest. We have to cover 3 chapters to get us on our way. So make sure you make time to do that. I recommend that you take notes while you're doing Learn-Its. There's something really special that happens between your brain and your hand when you write things down. It helps solidify information. So do that. It also will make the Learn-Its faster. So if you are writing down the answers as you're going, when it comes time to do the little quizzes or the checkpoints in the Learn-Its, you can just look at your notes and be like, oh yeah, I know what that is. It just makes it faster. Now, the late policy, I do not take off late points for work submitted late because it's hard for me to keep track of, and we all have crazy busy lives. And I will say this over and over again, learning is the most important thing. I want you to learn this material. I want you to stow it away. So that being said, I also want you to be respectful of the timeline in which assignments are due. If you need to be late, please communicate with me so that we can make a plan. All activities, this is in the syllabus, all activities due in weeks 1 through 3 cannot extend past the end of week 4. So you're going to get friendly reminders that say, hey, this assignment needs to be turned in. I'm going to put a temporary 0. As soon as it's turned in and graded, that 0 is going to go away. I don't think this is something new. You should be getting 0s in your other classes when things are late. But once we get past the end of week 4, I cannot accept assignments in weeks 1 through 3. It will maintain a 0. Okay. And that is because learning is the main thing. If you do all your assignments at the end of the course, the chances of you actually retaining that information is pretty slim. So do your due diligence, communicate with me if you need to be late or you need help, and I'll work with you. And if there's extenuating circumstances, I do have a heart and I'll help you. Okay. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, cool.
Yes, ma'am.
So let me make this bigger. Da, da, da. Okay, response time. So is that me or somebody else? Is anyone else hearing music?
Oh, I think it might.
There
Sorry.
you go. That's okay.
Yeah,
It was, I mean,
I'm at
was-
work still.
that's okay. It's jazzy. I mean, we could all go. Okay, so response time. Now, Bryan gives me 5 days to grade your work. Very seldom do I get all the way to those 5 days. I generally grade your work within 72 hours or 3 days. If it has gone a little bit longer, you can know that I am slammed in some way, shape, or form. At the end of the course, I have another course that's halfway through right now. So when you're hitting week 4, they're hitting the end of their week and they've got 2 assignments due back to back, which you will too. And it can get a little bit much. So I'm going to plug through them as fast as I can. If you need to communicate with me via text or email, I usually get back to you within 24 hours. I school my kids in the morning until about 3 o'clock. So I tend to work mostly in the afternoons. Sundays is a day of rest for me. It's the day that works best for my family. And if it's anything I've learned over time is that I am a high capacity person. I can handle a lot. But with that means that I have to schedule rest or else I've handled a whole lot and then I just burn out. And that's not good for me. And it's not good for you guys. So I try to take Sundays off. If it's something extenuating, again, that's why I try to be super flexible with you to say, let's chat on Monday. Let's figure this out. And then you can submit later or you can submit a few days later, whatever. I know that you're doing your work on the weekends and I am too sometimes, but Sunday is a day of rest. If you don't already have some rest built into your life, I really encourage you to look at your schedule and find even just a couple hours where you can rest. Something interesting I learned lately is that if you have a brain intensive job and you're resting, try not to rest doing something else brain intensive. Go out and move your body. If you have a labor intensive job, try to take your rest in a way that maybe uses your brain or lets your body rest so that all these systems in our bodies can function. Our bodies are always working towards homeostasis or towards balance. So I know my fitness people know that. So find some time to rest. Yellow Dig. All right, so honesty time. Who loves Yellow Dig and who's not such a fan?
I like Yellow Dig, actually. I've been loving it up.
Good. You like it, Jessica?
Yeah, there's been a lot of interesting topics.
I mean, yes, but I'm not a fan of it.
Well, because it kind of feels like it's one extra thing that you have to do after you've already been doing so much.
That's how I feel.
Yeah,
I'm chatty, so it's easy for me.
Good. Yeah, our extroverts in the world are like, yes, let's chat more. Are you extroverted, Akira?
I would like to think so, yes.
Yeah.
I'm actually both. So I'm extrovert and introvert. So it really depends.
Yeah, I've heard people term that ambivert.
Okay, I never heard of that, but I guess
Yeah. Yeah. So Yellow Dig does serve a really key purpose. One of the purposes is that Bryan is an accredited institution. You don't want to go to college someplace that is not accredited by a higher power. So because we are all online and we are not meeting in class in person regularly, Yellow Dig serves that purpose. So you can check that off the list. Also, I think Yellow Dig is really great for networking. Hopefully you've already seen some people in another class and you get to see them in this class. And so you continue to build relationship that way. And, years down the road, you may be walking down the aisle of a grocery store and see someone with a Bryan University shirt on and you'll be like, no way. Oh yeah, I remember talking to you on Yellow Dig. And then before you know it, you have a job somewhere or you've given someone else a job or, so it's really, really great for networking. It is also a good opportunity to talk about the things that we're covering in the class that we aren't talking about consistently in the assignments, or because this is a general education class, we don't have regular live sessions. I just get 2. I get 2 to visit with you. So it really helps serve that purpose. Also in COM 115, Yellow Dig is really fun. It just is. So I try to post really fun topics, some tricky topics, things that we are dealing with, because we're always and ever communicating. We've been communicating since we were born, and this class is a chance to become more conscious of our communication choices and just do it better. So I think Yellow Dig is a great place to practice that. Also, I don't know if you were on the previous Yellow Dig before we got Yellow Dig Engage. What I really like here are the accolades that we give. So I can give you extra points on all of your posts, and you get that nice little bar that says, okay, you've reached your limit, move on. And I think that's really nice too. So with Yellow Dig, if you find it difficult to get your Yellow Dig points, set a time box and just say, I'm going to be on here for 15 minutes. I'm not going to look at my phone. I'm not going to go to another screen. I'm just going to type away on Yellow Dig. And that's a really easy way to earn all your points. Also, it's worth 20% of your grade. This is a 1,000-point class, and 200 of the total points go to Yellow Dig. So it's probably the easiest 200 points you can get just by sitting down and talking on this discussion forum. Okay. So you can see here, I have points allocated. It's the points that you see in the class. On the grade book, you're going to see them fluctuate because it's automatically tallied. So if you see it go down a little bit, don't dismay. It will come back up. The best way to handle it is just to make sure you're maxing out your points all the time. Okay. Yes. Okay.
All right. Yes.
All right. Yes. Okay. Good. And that's it. So if you have any questions, please just holler at me. I like to think I'm easy to work with and flexible, but firm at the same time. You know, gotta have some boundaries. But if you have any questions, text me, Canvas inbox me. You can email me at Bryan University. And I think it's going to be a great course. Largely, we've had really positive feedback in this course, and I think you're going to like it. So do you have any questions before I let you go?
Nope, not for
No?
me.
No question.
Okay, good. If you think of any, just ask, and you know, I'll see you on the course. I'll see you in Yellow Dig. Okay.
All right. Have a good day, guys.
Okay. Have a great day. Thanks for your time. I appreciate it.
Later.
Bye.
Bye.